Uno. Hello to everyone. Hola, muy buenas. Today we can do Spanish, English, wherever. We have Jiaqi Pan, and I'm super happy to present Landbot. Is an amazing tool that obviously does bots for many things that is Jiaqi going to tell us about. I script to English, but anyway, they've been from Valencia to Barcelona, and there are a few amazing team working there. They just raised a few months ago $2 million, but the thing is, everyone in the group has tell us they are one of the most amazing companies here in Spain. And obviously, when I heard that, I just said, guys, I want to know Jiaqi Pan. But the best thing is, Jiaqi Pan and Landbot, they're very near from our office, which is amazing. Sometimes we think companies are global and everything. But since then, well, actually, you're in Calle Mallorca. And Jiaqi Pan, I'm super happy that you're here. English, Spanish, Chinese, wherever you feel like to talk. Welcome to Growth Hacking and About Marketing.
Okay, thank you for having me. Really glad that we can meet here and share our story with the rest of the Facebook group. So yeah, nice to meet you.
Si quieres vamos cambiando al castellano, esto es así y así lo vamos contando. Ya que okay. No hay problema. Everyone, tenemos gente de España, tenemos gente de Inglaterra, tenemos de todo el mundo. Y un poco, pues, lo que me decías, ¿cómo es que empezasteis Landbot, Jiaqi?
Hostia, esto va a ser un challenge para mí, ¿eh? Ese intercambio de español, inglés.
¿Qué quieres? Vale. Inglés, español, va, tú escoges.
Maybe we can stick with English, then if at some point we want to change, then we should stick with one language, otherwise it would be so confusing, you know.
I'm going to stick on English.
Okay, perfect. So what was the question?
Why did you start Landbot?
Yeah, that's a very long story. Okay, we actually started 3 years ago when I closed my second company. Okay, at that time we had a very different model in mind. It was sort of a B2C consumer service where we help people to get anything they want, all using messaging channels like WhatsApp, messengers, you know. But what we saw with that model is that although the user experience was quite good, our business model wasn't scalable, so we couldn't find a way to generate enough revenue. That's why we wanted to pivot. It's very similar to the story of Slack, I would say, because they started building a video game, and then they saw the game nobody likes it, but the technology they were using to chat, everybody liked it, so they just sort of changed to selling that technology, right? So in our case, it's very similar. We started building a technology to help us to communicate with our customers using messaging systems. And then when we wanted to change our business model, we thought, why don't we do the same way like Slack did, right? So we started to selling the technology we built to other businesses, and it was quite interesting because at that time our main value proposition was we help business to communicate with customer using WhatsApp, which is something that I think most Spanish companies or people in Europe would have a very high demand for it. You know, because most consumers are already using WhatsApp, and it has a very high penetration in the market. And the problem business usually have is that WhatsApp don't offer any business features, so people can use it in a more efficient way, and that's our main value proposition. So we were trying to sell the product to high or very big enterprise customers. We were talking with like Corte Inglés, Cepsa, Nestlé, and we almost got the deal closed with Corte Inglés. But the problem we had at that time is that our product wasn't very stable because our integration with WhatsApp is not official. All right, so every time WhatsApp changes the system or makes some updates, it just breaks our system. and we were selling communication, and we were like missing messages or disconnections, all sorts of crazy things which make our communication very, very unstable. That's when we realized if we continue that path, we were never going to have a good product that can satisfy our customers' needs. So we tried to do another pivot. It's like the second pivot in the same company, okay? And it was the moment when people are getting very hyped about chatbots. Zuckerberg was telling everybody chatbot is going to take over the world, and every business should have a chatbot. And we at that time already implemented some automation in our system, and because we are using messaging system to talk to customers, it was very natural for us to do these kind of automation systems. And we thought, well, why don't we just take away the WhatsApp part and start focusing 100% on building chatbot for companies? Maybe that's an interesting value proposition, right? So we started testing a lot of AI technologies out there, because at that time, when people heard or hear about chatbots, all they think about is using AI, right? And we tested like IBM bots and bot framework from Microsoft. So all the AI technology in the market available to build chatbots. But the thing what we realize is that AI technology for natural language processing is basically shit, okay? So it doesn't work at all. Like the best scenario in the industry is like 6 out of 10 times the bot can understand what the user is saying, but the rest of the cases it's just a misunderstanding and telling some bad information. So it's really damaging the user experience rather than having a good experience. And that's when we thought, if companies like Apple or IBM, they couldn't get a good solution for chatbots, we are not going to the same path. So that's when we started doing a new approach. We call it conversational interface, okay, which is the main difference versus a natural language processing bot is that instead of giving the user every possibility so they can say anything, okay, we just give them 3 or 4 options, and then they can choose from those options what they are most interested in. And then we follow a decision tree model with a very structured information that's already in place. So the bot can always give the user what they need. And we try to make that experience very engaging using interface elements like buttons. We make it very visual as well using GIFs. People love GIFs. So with that conversational interface approach, we saw the engagement of user triplicated versus a natural language bot. And what we have done with that system is that we kind of wanted to test if this makes sense, not only in the Spanish market, because at that time, I'm talking about maybe early 2017, at that time, our main market was only Spanish companies, maybe some parts of LATAM, but we haven't done anything with the rest of the world. We thought, why don't we try to sell it on an international level, selling it maybe to US, to UK, to other more international countries. And that's when we went to Product Hunt. I'm not sure if you know it.
I think that's one of the reasons why some people in the group say how amazing you were, because the product launched you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we kind of built this very fast and simple MVP version of Landbot, okay, using the conversational interface approach. And so initially we were thinking like getting like 10, 20 early users to test it and get us feedback, and really help us to understand if this model makes sense. So we prepare this product hunt launch campaign, and we kind of was hoping so somebody can find us and use it. But what happened is that we mess up the entire campaign, okay? And the day we launch it, we kind of launch it too early, okay? So the thing what happens in Product Hunt is that at 12 a.m. in the morning, okay, they change their algorithm, and then they start featuring new product of the new day, right? And then
if you are in the Spanish time or in the US time, you need to be aware. You need to do it. I think it's around 8 a.m. Spanish time that you at the time that is 8 o'clock in the US, you already have 6 hours of voting for the European time, and then you're in a good position, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the case. So at that time, we kind of know that it's critical to launch it always early in the morning, in the Spanish hour 8, 9, depending on where you are, okay? But what we didn't do right at that time was we thought we want to contact a hunter that can help us to launch it instead of us launching it by ourselves. So we contact this big influencer called Chris Messina.
Who was your hunter from Product Hunt?
Chris Messina. Messina.
Yep.
Okay. And he was like this, I think, influencer in the chatbot space. He have done many work around conversational commerce, conversational interface. So he was well recognized also in the Product Hunt community. And when we were talking with Chris, he told us that the day of launch, he don't have time to launch it because he was kind of busy, but he can like schedule the launch and then make it launching automatically. We thought, oh, all right, that's a very interesting option. Then you can schedule it with all the information and then launch it tomorrow. He said, oh, all right, we do that. But what happens is that actually that feature isn't available, so or something happens, so it didn't work. And what happens is that when he wanted to schedule, he actually launched it, and we were like at 11 p.m. on the US time. So we were like the last product launch on that day, and nobody is going to see us in Product Hunt. And we kind of panicked. We started to write a lot of message to the Product Hunt team, and we tell them, oh man, this is a mistake. We want actually to launch it next day, not this day, But at the end, they
well, you did very well. I think you did over 1,800 votes, which is good. It's a very good number on Product Hunt.
Because that's what I'm going to tell you why. Because when we tell them this is a mistake of the launch, okay, the launch was a mistake, they tell us they will hide our launch until next day and then feature it again, okay? And what this made us essentially is we could get a lot of early upvotes from the previous day. We got like 60 upvotes from the previous day. And then the next day when it started, we already started with 60 upvotes. And every new product, they usually start with 0 upvotes. So we were immediately on the first page of Product Hunt. And then it was like a snowball effect, because as you are the number one, people just like to upvote you, even if your product is shit. And then we started to climb, and we stay as number one during the whole day, and it got like more than 1,000 upvotes or something like that.
It's not by mistake, man. I think you are an amazing product for Product Hunt. That's why it's like it's a simple, it's got GIFs, it's got like technology. And I think that how many, if I can ask, how many people did actually register to the actual Landbot? And just to let you know, we have some people saying hello to the group, and I think David Matthias also say hello, that they are using you. Obviously, we have a lot of people using you, which is good. And if you want to tell how many people actually register from Product Hunt, will you do a recommendation anyone who is launching doing a Product Hunt?
Absolutely. So from Product Hunt, we actually launched it several times. I would say the best campaign was the first one, without doubt. We got like 10K signups in 1 week. Okay, and then it has like some residual. Even today, we still got many signups each week from our Product Hunt web page. So it was huge. And then from there, we did several new launches. With each version of the product, we try to do a new Product Hunt launch, which kind of boosts always our acquisition and get us back again to the public and get more visibility. You know,
Product Hunt, and I think it's great because we did a few Product Hunts. We did one that was over 1,300, and it brought us a lot. It's a lot of work for anyone, and anyone who's doing a Product Hunt, make sure you prepare it, because it's a lot of work before and after landings. And also,
absolutely.
Sumo was working. It worked very well for us, and we actually got revenue directly, because Product Hunt, unless you sell something, the users use them to be free. AppSumo, even though the prices are low, you actually get some money out of it, which is amazing. Jiaqi, tell me a little bit more about the product, what it does, and who is it for? But mainly, what does today Landbot? Why should I be using Landbot for?
All right. So talking about the product, what we do is we help small media businesses to build chatbots that can help them in different use cases, mostly related to marketing and sales activities. Okay, so a typical user of Landbot is, for example, a marketing guy who want to generate leads for his company. And instead of using, for example, a usual standard landing page, he can either build a conversational landing page using Landbot, or complement Landbot as a form with the actual page itself. Okay, and the result people usually get using Landbot, I would say they can get an increase between 50% to 100% of qualified leads versus a normal landing page,
just
which is kind
to
of
understand is it when I'm, let's say I'm doing an advert, or I'm sending them to a landing page, and then you can actually use Landbot. Hi, what's your name? Do you want to register? Do you want to buy a car, or you just want to rent a car? You can do anything. How difficult is for anyone to set up the bot?
Yeah, I would say our goal when we started building the product, our goal is even my mother, who don't know anything about technology, should be building it. And we are not there yet, but most people, I would say, without very advanced technological knowledge, can build a bot in 5 minutes. We give people a lot of templates so they can start with some pre-built structures, and it's just filling out the information they want the bot provide to the customer, and then upload it on their website and start running the campaign. You know.
I love it, and I've been obviously checking what's Landbot deeper this week. One, is it a little bit like I would do a drip campaign? Obviously, we do a lot of emails, but it's as easy as it would do a drip campaign, like autopilot or setting up something like this. Isn't it something? If you can explain for the people who hasn't been doing any chatbot for now or ever.
Yeah, it's very similar to tools that helps you to do certain kinds of marketing automation. We have this builder, which is a drag and drop, where you put different blocks together, and it's also kind of fun because you can connect different action of the bot, and we also include some power-ups to help people to make integrations with other systems, like integrations with their CRMs, with their marketing automation tool. We have a native connection with Zapier, which basically allow people to get all the data using the bot and send it to anywhere they want. Also, one of the things people usually compare us is versus a normal form. So because you use a form to get leads, right? To register data from the user. The power of Landbot is that it's a two-way communication. You don't only get data from the user, but you can also pushing data back to the conversation and personalize the experience. A quick example would be if you start asking user preference, what do you like, car or moto or any other preference the user has, and then you can connect it to your database and get all the options that would be interested for the user and pushing back. That sort of things is what we are enabling with Landbot.
I love what you're telling me, and certainly here we're going to be implementing a little bit more Landbot because we haven't used Landbot, but man, you're in with it. Tell me a little bit how the users, what type of users you have. If you can share a little bit about the numbers, what is your acquisition, and just tell me a little bit who is mainly using it. Is it startups? Is it corporate? What the idea is? Who is Landbot built for?
Yeah, I would say we started with a very niche target, going after the early adopters, who is like product people, very excited about user experience. Right now, we have expanded a little more our target. We are going after some small and medium-sized companies. I would say between 50 to 1,000 employees. We definitely are focused a lot on US and UK, which is our main target. And in terms of some industry-wise, we work a lot with financial services companies. Also, some retail companies is very good for us, So more or less about that.
How many users do you have at the moment? If you can share, if you are allowed.
Yeah, I can only share some high-level numbers because otherwise I would be sharing too much confidential info.
No, whatever you want, guys. Whatever you want.
So yeah, right now we have like 5,000 monthly active users using Landbot. Mm-hmm.
Congratulations. And obviously we love how if you want to share, how did you acquire your first 10 customers?
Our first 10 customers, definitely with Product Hunt. We got our first 100 even from Product Hunt launch,
We did. For anyone, guys, you really need to be checking Product Hunt and testing, because I think it's a beautiful way. Also, I think I think there are two amazing companies now here in Barcelona as well. One is Travel, it's N26 for fintech. I don't know if you had spoken to them yet. And the other one is Typeform, which I think, in a way, do you have an API to share them with them, or?
We know Typeform very well, which we kind of share some similarity in terms of market segments. I love their product. I will be honest with you. Some of their product design inspire a lot in our product design. So we kind of always was thinking about how can we make the product experience as good as a Typeform, because they really innovate a lot on how to make the user experience good, building the products.
Good. Jiaqi, just a little bit to wrap up. How is your energy in the company? What is your main motive? And if you want to tell me a little bit, how is one day in the office? Let's say I come today to Landbot. What will I see? Is it 5 guys coding all the time and then having Pomodoro, or is it more like a startup, just chilling out, just thinking, Tell me a little bit how is the day in Landbot.
I would say it will depend a lot on which area you are visiting. Right now, if you are visiting the sales area where I'm personally in charge, it's definitely very hustle style. Everybody being aggressive, calling, emailing customer nonstop. And then if you are visiting I would say the product area, it's more like chill, relax, because they have to think. We try to let them do their stuff and don't disrupt a lot because they have to focus. And the rest of the area is somewhere in between, right?
How many
And
people
I'm
are
personal.
now on Landbot?
We are, I think, 25 people right now.
In Calle Mallorca.
Calle Mallorca, right?
Man, next time I can tell you, I will come one day to visit you because you are so near from here. We are in Calle, we are in Calle Badajoz, and this is
All right.
this is the magic of internet.
You should visit us. You should definitely visit us.
I'm going to visit you next week, sometime like this. What recommendations do you have for any guys doing, in your case, that you're more in sales and hustling? Do you have any recommendations? Let's say, for example, on myself, I do all my calls are Wednesday morning only. For example, this is what I do. This is one hack that I don't do calls during the week, only Wednesday morning. That's it. I have like between 5 and 10 calls every morning. That's it. Do you have any hacks for any who's hustling, who's doing sales? If you have any recommendation?
Wow, it's kind of good question. We are still testing a lot. Okay, we just started doing sales like 1 month ago. Until then, it was always self-service. But in our case, we find a lot of success using Landbot in the sales process. When we are selling email to people, okay, what we saw is most people, if we include some link in the email, people usually click on that and try to see what we have to show them. So what we are doing is when we sending an email to a user, we kind of put a link which is connect to a Landbot, and then we make that Landbot explaining the service to the user and try to engage them. And if they find it interesting, we try to set up a meeting using the Landbot directly, which is kind of fun because people are seeing a potential use case by themselves and they are interested immediately.
This happens to us a lot because we use Find a Lead, obviously, to get new customers. And does it Landbot connect with Calendly and with your email, or do you connect it with Zapier and stuff?
We connect with Zapier and also with Calendly. We have even a hack to do a native Calendly pop-up where people can choose the availability very fast, very easy. So it's kind of very, very cool.
I love it. And if you could tell me one life hack on a personal basis to be the CEO of a successful startup, tell me some hacks that you do in a personal basis.
Okay. Definitely not successful yet, or it depends on your level of success. All right.
Man. If we ask,
no.
I haven't choose you guys. If we ask in the Facebook group, do you know any successful companies in Spain and in Barcelona? You came out. I didn't choose you. Obviously, thank you very much for being here. But some people think that you are amazing. I think that's super successful. This is more than 1% of the companies out there that no one mentions. Just congratulations, man. And if you want to tell me some hack yourself that you do for coping on the startup life and energy levels.
Yeah, I think energy levels, definitely doing exercise in the morning. Okay, it helps me in particular a lot to relax and also to think better. I try to do this kind of muscle exercise, and in between each session, when I want to pause, I try to think something, because at that moment my brain power is like very connected. I'm thinking everything very clearly, so I try to get a lot of ideas when I do that. And then after it, I would say definitely eat blueberries. Okay. People are saying blueberry is very good for the brain, so you should eat a lot of blueberries.
I love that one. We usually hear we have the sales. We're a very small sales team, but we like to go swimming to the sea, and we did a swim yesterday, not 2 days ago. We went to swimming here. And we're very near from the sea, and we went
Okay.
swimming. It's
Well,
fucking
it's too
cold.
cool right now to go
Yeah,
swimming, right?
it keeps us fresh, you know. It keeps us awake and do
Wow,
these things.
wow, you're amazing.
Well, I'm going to show you the video with that. And tell me, if someone hasn't applied a bot onto the website, and if you are uh, tell me, if one is what plans, tell me what plans do you have for anyone who wants to join a Landbot? How much does it cost? Is it very expensive? Is it super cheap?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely very affordable. The cheapest plan is free, so everybody who want to start trying if chatbot can make sense for their business, they should definitely start up with the free version, where we already include a lot of features to help people get started and get initial value and see if that's something that can be interesting for the business. A lot of our customers started in the free account, and then when they realize it can generate good amount of leads or improve their conversion rates, that's when they try to commit more and using some more premium features. So definitely I would recommend everybody starting with the free version. We have lots of templates for people who do for example, a new product launch, or people who want to do webinars. We have a webinar bot where they can help people to get subscription and launch it to more audience. So I would say you can, depending on your use case, you can check it out and choose the template that's most suit to your use case.
It's funny, Jiaqi, that we are going to be testing a few things with Landbots, and this is just for everyone listening. We never promote any business. There is no referral. There is no any. Just from the point of view of growing companies, this is what we like. We do growth hacking, and I think Landbot could be really for what you're telling me. It can really be amazing. I don't know if there's anything that you want to share. Anything, man. We'll be very happy. If you want, we can do a video sometime. We will be checking ourselves. Let's see how for the webinars and other actions, which I think it could be amazing. And from here, man, from everyone on the growth hacking group, thank you very much. And that's it. Oh yeah, Jiaqi, one amazing book that you recommend to anyone listening.
One amazing book. Wow, there's so many books. I would say the hard thing about hard things.
Okay,
From Ben.
I tried. I couldn't go with it, really. I tried. I just couldn't. I couldn't. But anyway.
You couldn't finish it, right? Yeah, that happens with me with many books, you know. You only get like 30% and then you just drop it.
It didn't hook me, man. I was like, it didn't hook me.
But the good stuff is in the rest of the 70%, man. You have to go to it.
I will do the end next time then. Okay, thank you very much for having us here. Don't hang up, and thank you very much for everyone listening. And remember, find that it helps you to find emails and send them with love. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.